Taurus, hey, we're here. We made it. I've already shuffled the deck of cards. I'll be laying them out for your reading today. Just using the Rider-Waite deck. Tried and true. Old Faithful. But we're going to see where you're at, okay? And I guess we'll all get there together, huh? All right. So, wow. For your significator card, this is representing you. Oh, sorry about that. We've got the Lovers. Now, if I can get that to work, that would be great. Yeah. So, Taurus, this is telling me that right now you are in a situation where your own needs and your own perspective is being kind of counterbalanced with an outside perspective or another person. The fact that your significator representing yourself is being represented by the Lovers is showing me that your awareness is encompassing the awareness and the needs of somebody else. So I'm going to kind of see how this is playing out. We have the Death card covering that. Interesting. Taurus, for me, I'm not necessarily getting the sense that it's the end of a relationship, but more that there's something is changing. Something is being stirred up and shaken up. Maybe it could be that you're in a relationship or in a marriage, and it's like the fulcrum that you're kind of holding on to in the midst of some sort of major change or major shift that you're going through right now. I want to see what card is crossing you. A lot of majors. You have the Temperance card crossing you. So the sense that I'm getting, obviously this isn't going to apply to all of you, but the main image that I'm getting looking at these cards together like this is that you're being called to work carefully to balance your needs with the needs of another person in some way. Some sort of partnership. You're prioritizing that partnership. And it is requiring a degree of caution on your part to do so. You're kind of you're in a good place for this sort of balancing act. It's not to say that it isn't taxing and it isn't difficult, but it's almost like it's giving you purpose, or it's giving you some sort of comfort or stability to act as this person who's balancing these roles, balancing this relationship, balancing this partnership. It's like the one thing that's I don't know if this is dramatic, but it's the one thing that's keeping you sane on some level. It's like the purpose that's pulling you forward right now. Because there's a lot. You're making some major moves right now. Or major moves are being made for you. And so in some level, this partnership or this balancing is sort of like your evolved version of nesting, which I think tracks for Taurus. Creatures of comfort. You got to have something stable and solid when things are not stable and solid. At the root of the reading, the bottom, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. You know, part of me wants to say that this is like you've started a new job or you've started a new career path of some sort or a new pursuit, like maybe you're going back to school or something, and it's kind of putting you in a difficult place where you're having to sacrifice some element of your routine. You're having to be more diligent about how you're managing your time. That could be the relationship. It's not it doesn't necessarily have to be another person. It could just be circumstances. It could just be tasks. Could be, day-to-day to-do items. Like you've got different classes. I don't know why school is coming up so strongly with this, but I feel like it's a good way to kind of illustrate the way that I'm seeing this energy. Your pieces are being moved around. Things that were before really secure and stable and routine are now being shifted about. I don't necessarily get the sense that things are in disarray, but it's like a very orderly process that's moving these pieces around, but it's still like big pieces. It's still changing a lot of things. So behind you, we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. It's almost like these adjustments are being made because of a sense of discontentment. With a former situation. Your work wasn't being valued. It wasn't being seen on some level, and maybe your attempts to assert yourself in some way or to manifest your ideas in some way, it wasn't happening. And I think that's why these changes are starting to be implemented, because what are you going to get out of this situation? It's obviously providing no value to you. You're not going anywhere. You weren't going anywhere with this, so you got to do the one thing that Taurus hates doing, and that's changing course, redirecting, adjusting, moving pieces apart, moving things out of their place and into new places. Oh my God, that scary word, new. But I think you can have fun with it. You can take on an air of playfulness with this moving around, this juggling that you're doing. make it fun for yourself in some way, and I think that's going to be helpful. At the crown of your reading, we have the Four of Cups in reverse. This is, again, calling back to that feeling of discontentment, that feeling of being undervalued, of your efforts being wasted, or at least feeling that way. And again, I just feel like it's kind of confirming what I was saying about you being spurred forward into making changes because of sitting in this stagnant stew. Like, I think on some level in the past, you might have just put up with a situation like this and just kind of endured it, just because it's stable, it's providing for you on some level. So why shake things up, But where you are currently, I feel like it wasn't an option to do that. Whether it was like actual physical circumstances that were kind of forcing you to move out of the situation, or just a sense of emotional turmoil about the situation. Whatever the case may be, you were done. You weren't gonna put up with this anymore. Before you, we have the Sun. You have a lot of like major energies. And I think this is kind of putting emphasis on getting yourself out there, shining light on yourself and on your effort that was not being seen, not being appreciated. And your kind of fuck it moment, pardon the language, you didn't care for what I was doing, or you didn't like what I was doing, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's what I like doing. It's what I want to be doing. And you have no input, you have no say on how that's going to look for me anymore, because I'm deciding that for myself. That's kind of what I'm getting from this for you, Taurus. For the energy that's kind of around you, like the present circumstance, you have the King of Cups in reverse. It could be that there's somebody in your life that's maybe warning you against stirring the pot. Somebody who would rather you accept mediocrity and lack of movement in any direction, because I'm hearing the tried and true, and I really hope that the lawnmowers out there are not too loud and that you guys can still hear. Yeah, I just feel like there's somebody that's kind of representing the old you and kind of mirroring that back to you, the one that would have just accepted and kept on going with whatever the situation was in the past. That's the old you, and you're having that kind of mirrored back to you in some way. And it's kind of making you question yourself, I think, on some level. But hold that thought. For the people around you, we have Justice in reversed. Again, this sort of emphasis on not deciding. Instead of deciding to move into a new situation and make the changes that you want to make, or at least make the changes that are necessary for you to get to where you want to go. You know, the old you that's being reflected back to you on some level is kind of like, just don't make any decision at all. You know, that's what you need to be doing. Just instead of jumping too quickly at this new opportunity or this new thing that you want to be doing, just hang back and just do nothing. That's kind of what's around you right now. Like, you, and I am hesitant to say that you shouldn't listen to that. You know, my instinct reading these cards is to kind of just hold that thought, like, yeah, this is threatening to hold you back, this mentality or this person, but there might be a reason for it. You know, not every obstacle needs to be bulldozed through. There's more to uncover in some level. Obviously, we've got more cards to uncover, so maybe we'll get some more answers with that. We have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse for your hopes and fears position. Wanting to be comfortable, wanting to be stable, wanting to be in a place where you can appreciate where you are, being simultaneously a fear and a hope makes sense with this situation. In making these changes and making these major moves, you fear that you could be giving that up. And maybe the fear is founded. Like, you could literally be leaving a work position and moving into unemployment and having to deal with all the material stressors that entails. So that makes sense to me. For the final outcome card, we have the Four of Swords in reverse. Wow. It's like the reading is just as indecisive as it feels like you might be. There's an opportunity to jump ship, and the ship could be sinking, the ship could be on fire, the ship could be going nowhere because there's no wind in the sails, and you have the opportunity to jump ship into a new boat. It might be smaller, but it could be moving, at least. But it's like, I feel like you have one foot in that decision, and you have one foot in remaining where you are. And you're kind of like hopping back and forth between these 2 feet. And it's like, until you make a clear decision and accept the consequences of that decision, and have weighed out the consequences of the decision before you've made the decision, you're not gonna, nothing's gonna happen. It's just gonna continue being steady and constant, like the sun, you know. Is that what you want? Do you want things to be unchanging? Is that a good thing? You know, these are questions that you're probably already asking yourself. Or If you're not already asking yourself these questions, maybe these are questions you need to be asking yourself. So I feel that there is somebody in your life that's providing some advice or is helping you to kind of mull over these questions, or is literally the catalyst that is bringing these questions up into your mind. And I feel like they have more to say. There's more information that you need to gather before either you feel ready to make a decision or before you actually make the decision. Like, just the general sense of this reading is like, hold that thought. There's more to come. Like, there's something that you still need to collect before whatever comes next comes. Before whatever you decide on is decided upon. You don't have the complete story yet. And I think the warning behind the Four of Swords being the final outcome in reverse over here is it's emphasizing that message that I just gave you. You know, that there is more information to come, but you don't need to stagnate until that comes. You know, continue doing what you're already doing while doing research, while getting advice, while, you know, while you're doing things that will move you into the direction that you feel that you want to be going. But don't jump ship yet if you do jump ship. Because there's something that you don't know yet that you need to know before you act on that. And I think that's the crux of the message today. Because as soon as I said that, it was like everything just went. I was getting nothing. Completely silent. Yeah. So I wish you all the best, Taurus. Hang in there. Hold that thought, okay? There's more to come.